Hey, welcome back to Colony. Today we're going to be looking at the competitors section of the marketing checklist. So one thing that can really help with this, it's not required. You could use just obviously your firsthand knowledge of who your competitors are, or ChatGPT to do some research. But we're going to test out a new tool here called Competely. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. It's Competely.ai. And you can just register. They don't offer a free trial, but I think it is $10 a month for the first month. And so what I did is I signed up for 1 month. I'm going to do the full report, and then I can go back and cancel it. You don't have to sign up for multiple months or an annual plan or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to go to my dashboard. You can see I've already been doing some experimenting here, but I'm just going to take you through it. So the product in question here, of course, is wanderbadges.com, which is the test product. So for those unfamiliar, Wander Badges is actually, it's a scannable travel sticker. Essentially, when you travel, all the different destinations, you've probably seen these on like luggage or back of laptops before, where people will get a sticker of the places they've been. The difference with Wander Badges is it actually includes a little QR code that you can scan. And the first time you scan it, you're able to upload your photos from when you were visiting that location or link to one of your social media profiles. And then when it's scanned again, you can kind of relive those photos. So it's almost like a digital scrapbook. So it went and scanned the site, Completely here did, and it looks like, as I'm looking through these are not the same type of products at all. So from actually identifying competitors, I don't think Completely is that strong. However, I happen to know some, pretty close competitors. And so I'm going to go ahead and enter their URLs. I have them loaded in a separate window here. I'm going to go ahead and enter their URLs, and we can pull them from there. So this first one is like a water bottle that has all these spots for national parks. And when you go visit the national park, you take the sticker and kind of put it on there. So that's one. Another one is conquest maps. These are just like travel maps that you put push pins into. That's two. Again, I found these kind of manually by just doing some Google searches, because Completely or ChatGPT didn't really get me there because it's kind of a unique product. Okay, so I entered these three manually. I'm going to start the competitive analysis. So it's going through and it's pulling in a bunch of different information here. So we've got obviously my site, Wander Badges. It's pulling the logo, brief description of the competitors. That's pretty cool. And then it breaks it down into a couple of different sections here. We've got a marketing section, a product section, a pricing section, audience, sentiment, and your typical SWOT analysis, which of course stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then some company information. Okay, so I'm going to give that a second to go through and pull in this information, but I do like how it's pulling in marketing channels that are being used. It's probably pulling part of those from the website, I would imagine, some of the pricing. Now, I did do a test to be completely transparent here. I did a test where I took all of these categories on the left-hand side and I put them into ChatGPT, and then I just gave it the URLs of the competitors. And if you take a look, I'm just going to show you this really quickly here. If you take a look at Wander Badges from Completely and scan down here, it actually did a really nice job of pulling in pretty like comprehensive information about, things that were strengths it considered based on like target audience, weaknesses. I thought it did a good job of pulling in users and the types of people who would shop for those products. And then, like I said, some of the different places it's advertised and some of the marketing channels they use. If you look at what ChatGPT did, it is much more bare bones and a lot less comprehensive. So it is clear whoever put this Completely website together spent a lot of time thinking about the logic, spent a lot of time making sure that when it pulled in the information, it was doing it with the context that it needed to give you the output that we're seeing here. So all of that being said, I actually think that if you're doing competitive research for the first time and you value your time, the $10 to do the initial report is worth it, because then you can kind of just save that report and keep it for future reference. You're not going to spend a bunch of hours doing all of this research yourself. And maybe if your product is a little bit more common, then you'll be able to use that initial search to actually have it help you find some competitors too. Like I said, that didn't really work for me in any of the tests that I did, that piece. Okay, one complaint I do have about Competely though, this takes some time the first time, that's fine. But I'll show you here in a second, and we'll skip to it. As I mentioned, if you don't want to use Competely and you just want to go through and fill out this information yourself, I did include a template here that you can just make a copy of and fill it in. Obviously, you'll put your company name in here, and then you can put all your competitor information in there. And it uses a lot of the same things you'll find on Competely, but you're going to have to put in all that information yourself, which could take a lot of time. Okay, so this is done. My biggest complaint about Competely is even when you pay, there's not a free trial, which is fine, especially if you're only going to need to use this once. I can understand why they did that. But when you go to download it as a PDF or export as a CSV, you can't do any of that without the next tier up. So basically, like, to do anything with that data other than just like read through it once, you have to pay the $20 a month plan, which I actually think is kind of annoying. One alternative is, of course, you could just drag here and you could copy all of this information, just like the table here, and paste it directly into, just like, click copy and paste it directly into ChatGPT and say, put this into a table for me. And then ChatGPT will put it in a table and you can copy and paste it into Excel or something like that. So that'll save you $10. That's probably what I would do, just because that'll only take like 5 minutes. But as far as like going through and doing all this manually, Competely does a nice job for that first pass. And so that is the identify your competitor section.